I'm Steven John Drew.
I'm Chris Farrell.
And I'm Steve Boyd, and we're the hosts of Walking the Walking Dead,
a podcast member of the GonnaGeek Network.
Just like the one you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual.
Check out other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Now get ready, because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
You're listening to Crimson Comet, a fan podcast about the TV show dedicated to the Scarlet Speedster himself, CW's The Flash. Welcome to episode 11 of Crimson Comet. This week we'll be discussing Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. I'm your host, Haley, aka Awesome Engineering Girl.
I'm John, aka Lobster.
And I'm Will, a.k.a. Rum Daddy.
If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can find all of our contact information at our website, crimsoncometpodcast.com. You can find us on Twitter at Crimson Podcasts, Facebook, Crimson Comet Podcast, and we have a voicemail line, 423-FLASH-53. That's 423-352-7453. We also have forums available at forums.gonnageek.com, or you can search for GonnaGeek on the tapatalk app.
Tapatalk.
Tap, tap, tap.
Tap, 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 tap.
Now,
if we're going really fast, folks, that's because Haley's cracking the whip on us this week.
That's right.
That's right. It's a professional show we got going here.
Absolutely. She's got shit to do. So we're going to take notes. We're going to cover everything with bullet points, circles, and arrows, and we'll have a quiz at the end of the show.
Arrows, lightning bolts, bullet holes, arrow holes.
No, the arrow wasn't in this.
He was the only one that wasn't in this.
Amputated
Everybody
arms,
was in.
And fish powers. Don't forget fish powers.
Fish powers.
Fish are terrifying.
So this is our hiatus episode, because right now The Flash is on hiatus, and this is what we're filling our time with, right? Between that and holiday travel.
Right. I think it was a good choice. I like this movie a lot.
I was pleasantly surprised. It was great.
But before we dig in, don't we have some news and some feedback to talk about?
We do. Let's do the news first.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So we've got a first look at the Firestorm costume.
And damn if it don't look cool.
It does. It looks pretty badass.
So this is from Instagram, Robbie Amel's Instagram.
You can't
And
trust those Amels.
It's kind of dark. He's standing in the field, but you can see the sort of characteristic outfit that he has going on. I wonder if that'll be part of how he learns to control his power.
Okay,
Maybe.
Honestly, guys, I don't see what you think is so cool about it. It's an outline. I mean,
He's kind of far away in a field, but look at all the glowy lights on his chest.
It looks pretty cool.
It's a It looks like he's carrying like his cell phone, and the camera light is turned on. And it's inside of his pocket.
Yeah,
and maybe he's got like a couple of it's a double-breasted jacket with 3 buttons on it. How can you tell what it looks like?
Who cares? I don't know.
Fanboy nerd out. It's so cool. You can't even see
I like it. It's this look. It's a grainy picture, and there's some dots. It's cool. Although, if we want to get really nerdy, there are 4 lights.
I only see 3.
No, there are 4. There are 4
4 lights. Okay, we can go on for this forever, but Haley won't let us. There goes Whip again.
Okay, so we've got some news about the new DC TV shows that are coming up in the fall.
New news! What's coming up?
News! Teen Titans is definitely getting their own show on TNT, and it's going to be called Titans.
Yes, but they're going to be constantly full of angst because they're teens.
Yep.
Always
I mean, if any of these shows should be on the CW, it should be this one, right?
Right. You know.
They're millennial superheroes.
Right.
I should have the best outfit. I think I should win the best outfit.
And I love that they picked the art from like the 80s to represent what that'll be on this article on comingsoon.net.
Yeah, if they don't all have gaping V-necks on, I'm just going to be disappointed.
And there's another one, too. In the spirit of Gotham, we have Krypton, which just seems like a dumb idea. I'm going to go on record.
Yeah, it does seem like a really dumb idea.
Setting a TV show on the doomed planet Krypton is kind of like, okay, we're going to make a love story, but on the Titanic.
Well, it's not even about Superman's dad. It's about Superman's grandfather.
How boring is that?
I'm getting a very Caprica vibe from this.
It'll last a season and a half.
Caprica was at least, a generation before, right?
Right.
Because it was Adama's
father. Right.
And then that had some more interesting stuff, like they worked in the whole virtual reality thing and everything. But, I mean, I guess if you saw Man of Steel and you liked the sort of Krypton vibe where they were all riding around on dinosaurs and stuff and it was kind of like Star Wars, that was cool. but I don't think they'll be able to do that on a show to have that kind of budget to make it look that way.
See, that's the whole thing. Man of Steel, I really wasn't a big fan of it. But the only thing I thought was really awesome was everything that took place on Krypton. I thought that was cool.
Right.
But I don't
that
see
was
how
cool,
they could,
but they're not going to do it on TV show.
Right.
They can't.
Well, yeah,
and
exactly.
the whole show is going to be kind of like, what's the point? Because the planet is going to be destroyed at the end.
And, oh, by the way, when they're on Krypton, they don't have superpowers.
Right.
So they can't, they're just like normal people.
Well, it's just going to be like, they're all really smart scientists.
Not that smart. Only one or two of them got off the planet.
Now, maybe if it was about, like, them exploring the galaxy and stuff on a spaceship, hey, that would be cool, but I don't know.
There's a little synopsis here. It's years before the Superman became a superhero, the House of El was shamed and ostracized. The series follows the Man of Steel's grandfather as he brings hope and equality to Krypton, turning a planet in disarray into one worthy of giving birth to the greatest superhero ever known.
And then exploding.
Yup. I don't know. I just don't see how it's going to work, but...
Dumb.
It's like some suit thought of a great idea, saw what happened with Gotham, and said, hey, we could do that with Superman. I'm sure we could make up some kind of a backstory.
Right,
and just sold the show.
Yep.
And it's a 1-hour drama.
Oh, no.
And it's going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel, or Sci-Fi.
So it's going to be on Sci-Fi, so everything's going to be green screened and really flat looking. I would have preferred had they made it a half-hour sitcom like Big Bang Theory, 4 cameras.
They could have just called it Big Bang.
So maybe the Caprica comparison's pretty close.
Yep.
So what's next? What else do we got?
Well, the last bit of news is, who is Harrison Wells? And it's just one person's mad theorizing like we've been doing for the last few weeks.
And this, again, this is something that we're still thinking about. Like, I'm still scratching my head after a couple weeks ago, and I'm not any closer. Although, actually, this Flashpoint movie helped kind of bring things into focus a little bit, right?
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I said, last week that I wanted to wait until we'd seen this to share some more theories, because a lot of the theories I have are based on what I saw in this movie.
And I do think that this article is correct about the Reverse Flash, that Harrison is the great whatever grandson of Eddie,
Eobard Thawne, Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom.
Or Detective Pretty Boy.
From the 25th century.
Oh. No, but I think that he went in under a pseudonym and he decided to, because he is Thawne, but when he went back in time, he's like, time travel, I'll call myself H.G. Wells and see if anybody can connect the two. So
right. Yeah, we talked about that last time. That's crazy. The time machine.
You are so on top of it. You're quick.
I'm so on it. Well, it's because I write for the show.
Yep.
Ah, that's right.
So we got some feedback this week. We got a new listener, Jamie Hill, at Coach Hill, said, hey y'all, wanted to drop a note that I'm enjoying the show. I just found you last week, just finished the first. So thank you for listening, Jamie, and maybe you're caught up by now.
Oh, welcome, Jamie. Welcome to our crazy circus of poop jokes and fart jokes and how it applies to the DC universe.
Hopefully you haven't been scared away by the puns and the poop.
Poops and puns and poops. That's what we're all about.
That's right. That is correct.
And then we heard from our longtime listener, Adam. He sent us a voicemail.
All right, let's hear it.
I love how, 10 or 11 episodes is a long time listening.
I mean, listening to us, it must feel like a long time.
It feels like a century to me. All right, so let's hear from him.
Hey, guys, I just found out something that gives me a better idea of who Wells could be. That's a really interesting twist. Apparently, Bart Allen, Kid Flasher Impulse from the comic, is actually related to both Barry Allen, obviously, and the Eobard Thawne, Professor Zoom, who could be Eddie from the show, which could explain both the yellow suit, because Bart has used the yellow suit in the past, and some of what could be going on with him. So that's just an interesting fact I found out. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, so he's thinking that Wells is Barry's son? Grandson? Who's Bart?
I think descendant.
Okay.
I think we can kind of connect the dots. He's a descendant of somebody, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we're saying that he's a descendant of Eddie and Barry's? I mean, I know things are being progressed today in time, but I don't know how that is possible.
Well, multiple generations down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And theoretically, descendant of Iris, too. Maybe. If
Potentially.
Barry and Iris get together, it could be a descendant there.
Or if Eddie and Iris stay together.
Right. Ah, crazy.
Crazy kids.
It's making my head spin.
Okay. Let's talk about Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, because...
Speaking of making your head spin, nothing makes your head spin more than a time travel paradox, right?
Seriously, I thought I was prepped by watching years and years of Doctor Who, and that's nothing compared to what this is putting me through. What about you, Haley? That's your other podcast. You should be prepped for time travel.
I love this one so much. I watched this not too long after it came out. I watched this a few years ago, and I absolutely love this movie. And I like that it's a cartoon, but it's clearly not aimed at kids.
Oh, no, there's a lot of death and blood going on.
So violent. And they cut away from the one thing where they actually kill the child, which I'm like, okay, well, they have to cut away from that.
Yeah, but then you see the kid's dead body.
Yeah, with his eyes wide open.
Right. And everything else, you've got, like, Superman amputating Aquaman's arm with his heat vision and just melting people, and, like, arrows going through people's skulls.
Batman blowing away Zoom's head.
Right.
Beheadings, swords going to people's chests.
It's pretty crazy, this one, but super enjoyable. And
I loved it.
And it kind of starts like the traditional Justice League team up, like everybody comes together to save the Flash in the Flash Museum.
Yeah, out of fucking nowhere, like the entire team shows up, even Aquaman. And as I'm watching, I'm like, who the hell invited Aquaman? He ruins every party he goes to.
No, he had his cool little microbes to help. He helped guys.
Oh, yeah. What?
The microbes. You got to use the microbes.
And what? Okay, stupid question because it's in this universe, but seriously, Aquaman can control microbes now?
Yep.
Well, theoretically, he can control all sea life telepathically. So if there are microbes that live in the ocean, he can control those too.
Of course he can.
Right?
Science.
Even though they don't have brains, he can control them telepathically.
All right, so let's start off at the very top. The first note that I made, and then I go back and I read Haley's note, and it's the exact same first note she made. It's that Barry's mom teaches him the Serenity Prayer that is taught at AA and mostly for Al-Anon, people who go to Al-Anon meetings. Which means that if Barry's grandmother taught Barry's mom the Al-Anon Serenity Prayer, it means that Barry's grandfather was probably an alcoholic.
Which probably makes sense for the time period.
Sure, of course, why not?
Could be.
But his father was notably absent from his origin in this one.
I made that note too. I thought his mom was a single mom.
Yeah, because she bought her own birthday cake so they could have a little party together.
Right.
Exactly.
And then his mother was murdered on her birthday.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And it still kind of leaves it mysterious as to who killed Barry's mom.
Right. And in this particular interpretation, I got the sense that it was just a random crime.
Right.
Just some guy came in and killed her.
And apparently Barry just stood in the doorway from the moment he found her in the afternoon till later that night when it took them hours to put a sheet over her head.
Yep. Like you do.
Like you do. Like it's done. Only in the world of cartoons.
Right. I don't know. They go through this pretty quick, but I feel like the Flash show is kind of doing it better because they're connecting it more to the broader story. Like, I think what they're doing is what we almost saw at the end of this, where Flash goes back to try to prevent it, and then either tries to prevent the Reverse Flash from killing his mom, or the Reverse Flash from stopping his mom from dying, which creates this paradox.
What if Barry is the Reverse Flash?
I mean, hey, could be. He did end up with the suit at one point in this.
Right. So it's like at one point in time, he decides he's going to go back and he's going to save his mother. And then another version of himself has to prevent himself from doing that.
That's just too many paradoxes. That's just way too much.
That theory got away from me a little bit. I don't know where it went up.
Yeah. No. Let it run down the road with the loose dog, whatever.
The other theory that I've seen going around is that the Flash TV show starts where it ends, which is the show will end with Barry going back in time to do something either to save his mother or ensure that she dies. So literally the show is setting up its end in its first scene.
In the first episode, yeah.
Yeah.
That is entirely possible.
which is kind of cool to think about. Because if they've got a plan for the show, then that would be kind of a logical way to tie it together.
Which means that they have to have a finite number of seasons that they're going to allow this show to be on.
Well, or they just say, okay, well, it's time for the end game, and that's their end game. If they're like, okay, this is your last season, then they're like, okay, we've got our last episodes planned out or something.
Well, the bad thing is if you keep getting renewed for another season, and you still have your end game planned, you start overcomplicating your stories in order to get there. And by the time you do get to your end game, it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Lost.
I.e. Lost. Exactly.
Yeah. So they want like the Babylon 5 model. Where
Or
they know,
Supernatural.
Yeah, where they know how many seasons they're going to have.
Ooh. Sidetrack on Supernatural. Haley, really quick. Well, both of you guys. I just saw posted somewhere that Pop Figures have come out with a Crawley figure.
Nice.
There wasn't one before. It was just the first three, and Crawley didn't have one, and now he has one. And we're back, Flash.
And
They
we're
should
back.
make a little Kevin one with burnt out eyes.
Too soon. But really brilliant.
All right, so one of the cool things here is we have the rogues show up at the beginning.
Right, and we've
these
seen
are-
some of these guys so
Yeah,
far in the
Captain
TV show.
Boomerang,
Yeah.
Captain Cold, Heatwave. Presumably we'll see Mirror Master and, I hope, Top, because he had the
You're
best
the
line.
top. I'm the top. You're the bottom.
Looks like you're the bottom and I'm the top.
I think Top might be a more ridiculous villain than Gorilla Grodd. I'm going to put that out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's less cool. Grodd's at least cool.
It's just such a stupid power.
That comment was hysterical. And he was
Well-
just so like, and once again, you're the bottom and I'm the top.
And you know
Lord.
Flash has kicked his ass a dozen times.
Yeah, and I'm looking at him going, honey, I know a lot of tops and you're one of them.
Oh, boy.
Yes, we went there.
Yep, that's where we
We
went.
totally did. And, well, you can actually kind of see how working together the rogues can defeat the Flash. And this is a version of the Flash who is using the full extent of his powers.
Right, this is a fully formed Flash. He's not still learning how to use his powers or anything.
He has to call in the Justice League to bail him out because...
Yeah, and then Batman shows up, and then everybody else.
Everybody, every single person who was ever in the Justice League shows up.
No, it's not even close to everybody.
Well,
Except that guy in the green outfit with the bows and arrows. For some reason, he's not in it.
There's only one alien there.
he fell off a cliff, that's why.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter, Blue Beetle, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, they weren't in it.
Yeah.
That's because they're racist in this episode.
Dude,
Right.
Green Lantern was white. That was weird.
Yeah!
He's been white before.
I know. It's just I got so used to seeing Jon Stewart on the cartoon that I watched before, and then, we go back to Hal Jordan.
Okay, Hal Jordan starts talking, and immediately...
Captain Tight Pants.
Captain Tight Pants. I'm like, I wasn't expecting. I'm like, that's Nathan Fillion. You can recognize that man's voice anywhere.
Well, you can see it in the face the way they modeled his character, too.
Yeah, but everyone always has square jaws and,
Well, yeah, but because he actually looks like a comic book character.
He does.
You know why? Because he's ruggedly handsome.
He is.
I really am ruggedly handsome.
So the Justice League in this, I really enjoy. I like this lineup that we get because you've got Cyborg, you've got Wonder Woman and Green Lantern. And of course you have to have
Woman. Wonder Woman, she was a bitch in
Are you talking
this
about
show.
Alternate universe Wonder Woman or the regular?
Alternate universe.
Because the regular Wonder Woman was kind of cold, too.
Right. Well, I mean, she didn't really do a whole lot. She just,
Well, she put the lasso around Professor Zoom Reverse Flash's neck, was like, all right, you tell me what's up.
Well, yeah, it was that or everybody get blowed up.
Yeah.
She just take care of business.
The blowed up bugs. The little blowed up bugs, the bombs. They all, they dismantled them all differently.
Yeah, they all have their own thing. Superman
was like, no, yeah,
just
but like Superman...
Just let
Wonder
it go.
Woman, yeah, well, Wonder Woman threw hers up into the sky. Batman let it drop into the atmosphere. Superman, they all let them blow up because, we can't destroy it. But, Aquaman, all he did was take it and crush it. Done.
microbes. No, the microbes had already eaten apart the insides of it.
Yeah, he just had to crush what was left.
Yeah. And then who else just the Flash had the speedster ball that came out of nowhere that he's got incredible precision when he throws the ball at him. And it hits it, knocking it off, and
I think what he did was he compressed air and used that somehow.
like an air gun.
Because he also did the same thing when their jet was crashing. He spun his arms around really fast, and it created like some sort of like
air
cyclone.
current. Yeah. You think we're going to see that in the TV show? Because I don't.
I mean, I want to see the fight where they were running up the sides of the buildings.
Yeah.
And then at the end where he's running, but he's not running on the street. He's just running across the tops of the buildings. And then he runs down the blade of the helicopter as it's spinning.
I did like that.
That would be cool to see. But that's like, he's going really fast. And there's another thing here, which I wasn't really aware of, but if there's another speedster using the Speed Force, then the Flash can't be as powerful.
Right. It's like when somebody else is using the internet at your house, yours is slower.
Oh, yeah. It's like speed Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Makes sense, sort of.
Or two people taking a hot shower at the same time.
Not enough hot water.
Not
enough water pressure. All right, so let's get to the main part of this, which is the alternate reality that he wakes up in.
Right.
How does that happen?
Yeah, well, in the comics, there's no like explanation. It just kind of like happens all of a sudden, like he just wakes up, and then he kind of like has to figure out from there. But this is something that we've seen in all different types of media. It's like the Twilight Zone, like you wake up and everything's different, right?
Right.
And the alternate timeline, Barry's mom is convinced that he's gay.
Yeah, I love. He's like, Mom, I have to tell you something. I'm gay. No.
We all know, honey, you're gay. We all know. We're okay with it. That's fine.
Well, yeah, because he spends all of his time with her now, eating birthday cake.
Yes. Right. And still has a rockin' body after all that birthday cake. How does that happen?
Speed Force. Except he doesn't have the Speed Force. Super sad.
He doesn't. He fell down the stairs.
It's hilarious.
So this alternate universe that he finds himself in, so because he never became the Flash, it set off this chain of like ripples through the time stream,
right,
where everything happened a little bit different. Like, of course, my favorite one with this is who Batman is.
Oh, Batman
right.
is his dad.
No, who the Joker is the best part of that.
Joker is, yeah.
Oh, that's the best part. I love that.
Oh, I remember the first time watching that with my brother, and we got to that part, and I was like, oh, that's fucked up. Like, that's twisted, and it's so perfect.
It's the best part. It's so perfect. And it creates a great juxtapositioning between the two of them. Because, of course, they both lost their son, and Dad Batman went one way, and the mom completely lost her mind going another way. Yeah.
That's a great, like, what if? Like, what if Bruce had died instead of his parents? That's perfect.
Like, I would like to see more of the Batman-Joker dichotomy in that universe.
I think in the comics it got explored more.
That would make sense.
They explained it more, because when this happened in the comics, I think it was like a year-long or 6-month-long crossover story throughout the entire DC universe. Mm-hmm. So, and this is actually what ended up launching the New 52, because when the Flash resets the timeline, it doesn't just reset the timeline.
It's a little different.
It rewrites it, and it combines like the DC, the Wildstorm, like all these like different universes get combined into one, and then everything's slightly different. It's like a soft reboot of the comic continuity.
That makes sense.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah, but in this, they don't really explore that. It's just like, oh, everything's back the way it was.
Yep. Except he's got a pretty cool new costume.
Yes.
I did like that.
Actually, maybe that's it. Maybe that's just that he's got the new costume, and that's your clue that things are a little bit different.
Nope, that's the only effect on the entire universe is his costume changed.
Right. That's it. Wardrobe.
Okay, so we see that the world is trying to deal with this war that's broken out between the... No, not Atlanteans. Is it Atlanteans?
It is Atlanteans.
Atlanteans, yes. The Atlanteans and the Amazons. That's spilling over into the surface world.
I think my favorite line was, "We're neck deep in Amazons." And I'm like, and how is that a bad thing?
And that was Steve, who in this universe...
Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor was with Diane. Right.
And she ends up killing him.
With Diana. And she ends up
hanging him with
her
own lasso.
She killed a lot of people.
She was a badass.
Yeah.
She was a bitch. She was a see you next Tuesday.
And she has an affair with Aquaman, which ends up sort of like they're trying to promote peace between their two countries, and then
Aquaman and Wonder Woman can't keep it in their pants, and they destroy the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Deathstroke and Lex Luthor are the two people we send to save the world. Those are our heroes in this universe.
And Clayface and a couple other villains.
Sure, why not? I did like that Lois Lane was kind of a badass herself. Like
she was so awesome in this.
Yeah, she was great. It wasn't the typical Lois Lane that, oh my god, I need Superman
Help,
to save me. She was like,
she
was like,
and when she's about to die, she's like, yep, I'm probably about to die, so, here we go.
If there is an afterlife, a cushy anchor job would not be out of line.
Right.
Enough of this field reporting.
I'm with her on that.
Also in that flashback, we see the same, Superman still crashes near where he did last time.
Right.
But not quite there, and kind of puts a big hole in Metropolis.
Right.
Well, not near. Metropolis is supposed to be pretty far from Smallville. They're not like suburbs of each other like that, but yeah, he did end up crashing in Metropolis.
But that was the Kents, right? In that truck, then they saw it in the background?
That was the Kents in the truck, showing that they absolutely missed it. They saw it, but they missed saving a child from it. But what I did like is when they did find Soupy, that he was all skinny and
right, because he hadn't been exposed to the sun, which is what gives him his power.
Right.
And so it was clear that not only were they keeping him locked up, but they were trying to clone him somehow.
Right, that's what all those things in the tanks were.
Tanks, yeah.
It was very Aliens 4 or Aliens 3. Which Alien was that? It was Aliens
Resurrection
4. Resurrection.
When they're trying to clone Ripley. Yeah. But this, talk about, dark. He's locked up and emaciated.
Yeah, there's the Superman thing, and then Captain Atom also being held captive and used as Aquaman's weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, that was messed up. Messed up.
Yeah, it was really messed. As I'm watching it, I'm taking notes, going, "Damn, this is really fucked up. This is really messed up."
It's
the writing was brilliant.
It's the darkest timeline because Batman has a goatee or a beard.
Facial hair.
No, he's just got a shadow the whole time.
The bat shadow.
Well, also twisted, Barry tries to get his power back, and it doesn't quite go according to plan.
He tries to Frankenstein himself.
Yeah.
Mummy, all the different old-time horror characters. But yeah, and then third degree burns all over his body, and then when he does it his second time, and he does get his power, he's this speedster mummy. But that is really messed up.
He gets to save Batman.
Yep.
Which I really enjoyed Batman in this. The dark, gonna kill you Batman was great.
Right, just start beating the crap out of people, shooting people, throwing people off of bridges.
Oh, what he did with Yo-Yo? That was awesome.
But then stupid Cyborg saves her.
Cyborg, the only hero left in the planet.
Right, the only hero. He works for Obama.
That's right.
Which I love that in the darkest universe, Obama still becomes president. Because, you gotta have some constants.
Right. Okay, so right after Barry gets his powers back, then we see a speedster save Lois Lane. And they're trying to make you think, oh, Barry, he's back in action now.
Yeah, because it was right after Barry got the yellow uniform. It's like, oh, here, yeah, exactly.
I just figured he ran around the world to see what was up, and then
did a quick lap and went back to the Wayne Manor.
Right.
And then we see that Barry is the world's fastest seamstress.
Which I was like, oh, I thought it would have been cool if he kept the yellow outfit.
Right, but no, not his style.
No, got to go with red.
No, he's got issues with that outfit, so of course he's not going to keep it.
Well, this Flash doesn't have those issues because he didn't see a yellow streak kill his mother.
But he did. He has memories of both.
Yeah, but he's dealt with the... No, he never... No, a yellow streak never killed his mother in either one of
the
the
it was an unknown person killed his mother before he got home from school or whatever.
Right, so he doesn't have those issues, but the issues he does have is that he keeps going up against him time and time again.
He still has issues.
Oh, how great is it that Batman's an alcoholic?
Predictable.
Why wouldn't he be?
Right.
Really dark. No, predictable, but yeah.
He's basically, while he's still Batman, he's like the anti-Batman. Because he kills people, uses guns, isn't about being a hero. He's really only concerned with stopping the Joker.
Yeah, and always has a flask.
And probably couldn't kill the Joker either. Because it's still his wife. He'll kill the henchman, but...
Right.
And don't they say that she kidnapped Dent, too?
Judge Dent, yes.
Judge Dent,
yes. Judge
Which
Dent.
I thought he said Judge Dredd, and I was like, what? Wait a second.
Combining a lot of universes here.
Right.
No, but that probably means that Dent never became Two-Face.
Right. Not in this one. Okay, so then Barry tries to get the band back together, and Batman refers to this team as the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that comes kind of later, but it's still just the desperation, and Shazam is split into like 7 different kids, and
Is that part of the Shazam universe that he's a bunch of
No.
different
No,
kids?
it's usually just the one kid, Billy Batson.
it's always Billy
Yeah,
Batson. But
yeah. Okay, that's
maybe
what I
on
thought.
in this one he was like not alone when he wandered into the pyramid. He was on like a school trip, and they all got the power, and they all combine into Shazam or Captain Thunder or whatever they call him.
Captain Thunder was what they called him in this, which is silly.
Well, he does have a big, lightning bolt on
Right.
his
And then a
chest.
bunch of scars on his face.
But I did love his lovely small little white cape.
That he does have in the
He does,
comics. It's
that's-
just a silly
Oh, I
little
know.
cape.
Yeah,
No, I know, but that's always like I always love how all the superheroes have like full on cape, but Shazam has always had like this little like I'm gonna go and park your car kind of cape, and it looks really ridiculous because he's so
he's
big.
huge. He's
Yeah.
super muscular. Speaking of being super muscular, what did you guys think of Aquaman? Because as I was looking at this,
His head looked so
Yeah.
weird on his body.
so they've cast,
Well, he kept getting bigger and bigger as he went
they
along.
cast Jason Momoa to play Aquaman in the movies, right?
Right.
In the upcoming Justice League. So I could see him being like that version of Aquaman, where he's just like super ripped and super dark and
Yeah.
just gonna kill some people with his trident.
Well, hasn't Aquaman always traditionally been like blonde and
Yeah, but
Very white.
until like the 90s, he was like clean cut
Yeah.
youth.
And then they went kind of grunge with him and they actually did cut off his arm for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, they
he had like a
did?
spear for a hand
Yep.
in the comics for a bit in the 90s.
In the Justice League cartoon, and Justice League Unlimited, he has the hook for a hand. Or the spear or whatever.
well, I just got schooled.
Arr.
Arr. Okay, so the team goes to rescue Superman, and they start to get him out of there, and he's referred to as stolen government property.
Right.
And then
And that is dark.
Yeah.
It's dark.
it's so dark. He accidentally melts a bunch of people, and you see their half corpses strewn across the ground.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is that they don't make him act like the traditional Clark Kent Superman that we all know, which, by the way, his name
No,
cannot
it's
possibly
not.
be
It's not,
Clark
it's just
Kent because he
Kal-El.
met them.
Yeah, well, he probably doesn't even know that his name is Kal-El because he's been in that cage since he was a baby.
He's John Doe.
Yeah, it's just a John Doe. So I love that, but I also really appreciated that they did not give him the Clark Kent Superman personality, that they actually gave him personality of somebody who was locked up for many, many years, comes out and finds this
Right.
new
This
power.
isn't a kid that was raised on a farm in Kansas. This is somebody that has been a prisoner their entire
Right.
life. He's a completely different person.
Exactly. So he didn't come in with like, truth,
Right.
justice, and I'm going to save everyone. It was like, what
The
the
only
fuck?
thing he
Yeah.
gets is friendship, and he, becomes friends with the Flash and Batman and Cyborg for saving him.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
all he knows. And because he becomes friends with them, he defends them only because they helped
Right.
him, not for any sense of honor or
Yep.
anything else.
Right.
Which, like, if he'd wanted to, he could have, like, ended the war, because then he had his Superman powers. But he kind of flies off, right? He disappears for a good bit of it.
Yeah, he's got to take a minute.
Yeah, get charged up in the sunlight.
Right. Well, and he's also dealing with the trauma of having accidentally killed all those people.
Well, yeah, but they kept him prisoner. They kind of had it coming.
They were kind of dicks. Okay, then Flash gives his Braveheart speech to rally the troops, and the Shazam kids are totally behind him, and everyone else is like, whatever.
Well, they're kids. Of course they're going to be behind them. They hear a good speech and they're like, we're motivated. Let's go.
Well, Batman, from the outset, wasn't on board. Because he's like, well, I got to go stop the looting. I don't want to miss the looting.
No, because he wants to get a new TV.
He wants to go crack some more skulls.
He does, yeah. He's all about kicking ass.
Yep.
Yeah, but while he's doing it, a nice big flat screen
For the
wouldn't hurt.
Batcave.
Dude, he's got a casino. He's got all sorts of dough.
That's right. I love how they turned Gotham into Vegas.
Which the whole casino thing,
I think
That's
it's
what
Atlantic City. I think that's what Gotham is.
the Penguin always, like, had a casino, too, in the comics. Like, that's kind of what that comes from. So they, like, mash up Bruce Wayne or Thomas Wayne with the Penguin a little bit, which is kind of cool.
I really like how, like, a lot of people that we're used to seeing as our heroes are the villains in this, and all these villains are trying to save the world. It's just an interesting turn of events.
It truly is.
And it's the butterfly effect. It's the butterfly effect as for, like, if you make your mom live, the entire world will just fall on its head.
Which is stupid, but whatever.
Time boom, ripple effects, dude.
Right.
Science.
I'm like, oh, time boom. Whatever. Anyway. So we get to the climactic battle, which was awesome. Like seeing, and like this is one thing where you do these alternate reality stories, you could basically just kill everyone.
Right.
And be like, And this is kind of like the answer to the question of like Flash versus Arrow. It's if Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Batman fought, who would win? And like you get to see like it actually play out and them actually like follow through and kill each other.
Yeah. Aquaman grabbing Wonder Woman by the cape and flinging her across a room, which is why you shouldn't wear capes. They're dumb.
No capes.
No capes.
No capes. No, I was going to say the other thing that I loved was Wonder Woman cutting off the head of her queen and then ripping the crown right off her head and putting it on herself.
Aquaman's queen. The Queen of Atlantis.
Yeah. Aquaman's queen. Right.
That was so awesome. It's ice cold.
Such good stuff here.
Well, that's why I kept saying she is a cold-hearted bitch in this. Unbelievable.
And I think, and we also had, I think you said in your notes that it was Deadpool, but it's actually Grifter from the Grifter from the Wildcats, which I don't know if anybody remembers the Wildcats cartoon from the 90s, which was kind of like the Wildstorm Jim Lee version of X-Men. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but
barely.
Yeah, he showed up in this, which was fun for me.
This whole movie was filled with really deep pulls.
Right. Well,
Deep
like
cuts.
half of Aquaman's army has names. I know that. I just don't know what they are. There's like a lot of characters that if you cared enough to look, you could find that all these background characters had names.
Well, that's true of almost anything in this genre.
And I don't know enough about the DC Comics canon to know exactly who everybody is. Like I recognized Clayface from the Batman stuff, but
no, there were a lot of people that I just had no idea who they were, including the rhyming demon.
Oh, that's Etrigan. I did know him. He was in the cartoon.
That's such a cool character.
I went to a big comic book store here in LA, and I bought a bunch of Flash comics, which I'm going to read while visiting my family on the break.
Good plan. I approve.
Mm-hmm.
The comics you got start in like the 1940s, right? You're starting at the beginning?
No, I'm not like you.
Wait, I don't understand. How else could you start?
Jumping in the middle of it and seeing what I can find. There are some great, well, you know, I don't have patience like you do. I just jumped to the chase right away.
Crazy.
Badness.
Well, there were some, you know, bonded, like,
bondage? What?
Graphic novel. Yes, bondage. Graphic novelizations.
Who's the top and who's the bottom?
You know, there's a song that sings that too. 'Cause baby, if you're the bottom, I'm the top, or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, it was a novelization, so that's why I picked up a couple of those.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so in the midst of this epic battle, Reverse Flash shows up, and he's like, I love what you've done with the place. And that's the first time you realize that Flash is the person that's caused all of this.
Oh, I mean, I figured that out at the beginning, but just because I kind of figured that's what it would be.
Well, yeah.
Is that's something we've theorized with the TV show The Flash.
Right.
Is that's going to set up something crazy.
I'm with Lobster on this one. Some of the stuff you kind of see it coming.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it wasn't enjoyable.
I mean, I didn't see the whole, you know, everybody's going to kill everybody thing, and Superman was going to have been locked up in a cave and all that stuff, but it was still pretty cool.
But the fact that Barry caused his own, like, him changing something in time caused everything else to go awry, yeah.
Which brings up a really interesting thing for the TV show, which is, can the Flash change his past?
I don't think that they would really want to change the past of the show permanently. I could see them doing it for a few episodes, but then it's going to revert back to the timeline that we've seen.
Do you think they'll do an alternate reality show kind of like this?
Yes.
Where we get... I mean, because if we're being honest, they did something on Arrow recently, and I know that when we recorded last time I had not watched the Arrow mid-season finale, but I have since watched the Arrow mid-season
finale. And Haley and I were losing our minds going, dude!
Yeah, because I had things to say and I couldn't say them because you can't talk about it at all.
You had things to say, and now I have things to say. I don't know if this is the forum to say those things.
No,
but
it is a forum.
It's our forum. We can talk about whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want, but just a big spoiler. If you're not completely caught up with Arrow and Flash to this point, move along.
Move along.
Okay, now we
nothing
can
to
say
see
whatever
here.
we want. Nothing to see here. These are not the droids you're looking for. Yes, there's a cliff involved and stabbing.
There's a literal cliffhanger.
It was, yes. I looked at it going, are you fucking kidding me? WTF? And then Stephen Amell's Twitter was rather interesting.
Well, it was a good run.
Exactly. He said, well, it was a good run. I'm really happy that I did blah, blah, blah. thankful for all the people. I'm like, no,
Well,
that
hey,
can't be.
they called the show Arrow, not Green Arrow. So
Right.
Roy takes over next season as the Red Arrow, and
But
it's still
he's
about
such
Arrow.
a boring actor. I mean, he's pretty to look at, but boring actor.
Dude, he's got like 2 whole dimensions. What's not to love about that?
Exactly. Just like Abby on Sleepy Hollow. And we'll move on.
So I think I have a feeling with that show, with Arrow, that they're going to go for quite a while without having Oliver Queen around.
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's going to be quite a while, but I bet it is a few episodes.
I bet it's going to be about 4 or 5. And then they're going to, or the rest of the season, and then they're going to find him. And they're going to find him it's going to be the big cliffhanger for the season finale.
I think they're going to go for a while without him, and when he comes back, he's not going to be the same, because if they are going to bring him back, that will change him in some way.
Mm.
And I think we're going to get to have Starling City without Oliver Queen and see what that's like, and maybe have some other people stepping into the role of protector of the city, like, I don't know, Canary and Adam or Omac or whatever he's going to call himself.
Right.
I think Merlin is going to end up saving Oliver.
I don't know.
I think Merlin's going to have something to do with bringing him back or saving him.
I think Thea is probably finally going to find out who he is.
Well, she can't help at this point. Come on.
No, he just went on a trip to Ghost City.
Right.
Everybody knows who he is except for his sister. She's the only one who doesn't know.
Superman doesn't know yet.
Not even the same city.
Not Superman. But no, I'm with Will. I think it's going to be... Wait, Will said that it was going to be Merlin that saves him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with Will on this. Merlin's going to be the one who saves him. He's going to put him in the Lazarus pit, but the Lazarus pit is going to scramble Oliver's brain, and he's going to become like the sidekick of Merlin.
Yeah, until Thea is in danger, or somebody he loves is going to be in danger, and he'll snap him out of it.
Well, it's got to be Felicity, because
Right.
that's the
Yeah,
last person that he thinks of when his life flashes before his eyes. Dark.
It was very dark. It was
But
a
at
complete
any rate,
WTF moment.
the reason that I think this kind of applies is, what does a world without the Flash look like? And so we saw that with this Flashpoint movie, right?
Right.
So we can kind of speculate what a world without Arrow is going to look like on that show. But for this, it creates a very dark place.
Definitely. And it's not even that it's just that the Flash is gone, but, like Reverse Flash was saying, it sent ripples back through time that fundamentally changed this timeline. So we don't have Bruce Wayne Batman, we don't have Superman in this world. And I don't know what exactly happened with Aquaman and Wonder Woman, but their timelines have been changed as well. And it could just be that they didn't ever meet Batman and Superman.
Right. They didn't have that stabilizing influence. And yeah.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you got to think, like, even if they did try to have a fight or something, Superman could just stop it.
Right.
Like, he'd be like, guys, knock it off.
Well, and instead of being, monarchs of their respective peoples, they were off doing stuff with the Justice League. Which makes you think that maybe it's a good thing that they weren't leading their people like they were supposed to, because they appear to suck at it.
Yeah. Which I love at the end. They're just like, well, we'll just kill each other. Like, we can't actually defeat them, so we'll just fight to the death, and we'll just all die. It'll be fine.
There will be no glorious victor, Diana. No prize.
It's very Shakespearean.
There's no throne. No matter which way this turns out, there's no
Right?
There's no way in which you win.
Wait, we did kind of talk about it, but Wonder Woman straight up Anakin'd a bunch of younglings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She does. The Shazam kids.
Yep. What, you thought she was going to stop just because they were a bunch of little kids? Nope.
No, she just totally Anakin'd them. That was great.
So in the end, the Reverse Flash can't help but show up again. And
Well, he's got a gloat.
He's got a gloat with his cup of tea. And this sets up how Flash figures out he can reset things, right? Because still, he doesn't really have any idea how to fix things. And Batman shows up, puts a bullet in Reverse Flash's head after Reverse Flash explains everything.
Stares at Barry through the hole in his head.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was great. That is a great shot.
The whole thing was brilliant.
There's
And
so much
then
good stuff in this one.
Now Barry has to run faster than he's ever run before. And he has to run through time, which still I'm not sure how that works. Because he's running back in time through the parallel
Gotta go back
universe,
in
and
time.
he's got to intersect with himself going back in time.
So do you think this is much better than Superman reversing the direction that the Earth rotates in?
Flying around the planet, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. In terms of the laws of physics, it makes more sense, but...
Well, they did make a point of saying, it's not just that he's running fast, it's that he uses this speed force to manipulate the laws of physics.
Right.
So, science-y, wyancy stuff.
That's all waving hands and shining lights over here, yeah.
Yeah, there's some timey-wimey stuff going on for sure. So he's able to intersect with himself running backwards, which he also has to fight himself while running through the time stream, and then sort of reset everything back the way it was by preventing someone from saving his mother, by preventing himself from saving his mother.
Right.
Now, if you were put in that position and you had to fight yourself, how do you think it would turn out?
I think I'd win.
Yeah, I think either way I'd win.
It's a win-win situation.
Yep.
Right.
Or lose-lose.
I think the older version always wins because
Right.
it's got more experience.
Yeah. I think that's right. I concur.
Or the younger one is faster, and stronger.
And hasn't been stabbed in the leg with a trident.
I used to be a speedster like you, but then I took an arrow to the knee.
A trident to the knee. Man. All right, so let's talk about how this Eobard Thawne Professor Zoom Reverse Flash fits with the man in the yellow suit / Dr. Wells.
I feel like this Reverse Flash was just kind of a dick the whole time. Like, he didn't really do anything. He was just kind of a dick.
He was willing to die just to destroy the museum and have
Twice.
Barry... Yeah, twice.
Twice he said it was worth it to die just to see the Flash defeated.
Yep.
Dude, he got a bullet in the head. I keep going back to that.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
something you see every day.
pretty
No.
hardcore for comic books.
Exactly.
But could you see there's a version of... Because obviously this Reverse Flash and presumably the one in the Flash TV show that we talk about needs the Flash to exist for some purpose. Because if he is from the future, without the Flash in the present, he won't exist.
Good and evil. There's never one without the other.
Right. So I think that lends more towards the Reverse Flash is from the future, Dr. Wells is from the future, Dr. Wells is the Reverse Flash.
Dr. Wells
buy it.
is a now I'm totally convinced that this is the way it's going to go. Dr. Wells is the Reverse Flash and that he is the great-great-great-grandson of Detective Pretty Boy.
I'm with it. I'm with it so far. What about the suit, though? Because I still think there's some way in which the suit has its own power.
I don't know.
Which I thought that was why the experiment wasn't going to work, because he wasn't wearing the suit. He needed the suit for something. Like, he had to put the suit on when he got zapped by the lightning.
Well,
Wait.
no, because Barry got his powers before without the suit.
Yeah. Barry was wearing Converse and jeans when he got hit,
Very true.
standing in a puddle.
True.
Okay, there is one thing that I have to bring up at this podcast. We've gone through an entire podcast, and not one person has made a poop joke or a streak joke or a pee joke.
Well, there actually weren't that many opportunities with this one. It was so dark that...
Then it would be a brown streak joke.
I mean, literally, I guess this is a universe in which everything has gone to shit.
There
Well,
we go.
I bet in real life, Superman's cage would have been smeared in feces, because it's not like they were letting him out to go to the bathroom.
I guess not.
I didn't see a toilet in there.
Yeah.
Does Superman
He was doing-
poop? I don't know. Have they ever
Superman
addressed this?
He was writing on the wall with Superman poop.
I love that the outside of the cell, you could see the Superman design.
Emblem.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But it's not an S, it's a family crest.
Right. It just happens to resemble an S.
Right. In your language. So, favorite moments from this? I think my favorite part was definitely Cisco's t-shirt this week. Oh.
Aw.
Oh, hey, did Iris look a little different to you guys?
I don't know what you're
Was there
talking about.
Something going on there?
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe
she's
she
still
had
a
her
young
hair done.
woman.
Highlights in her hair.
That could be it.
I don't know. There was something about it that just didn't seem right. We did have the Joe character, although I think they called him Jim.
Right.
in this.
James. Yeah.
James, yeah.
So it wasn't Joe West, but
It wasn't Joe, it was James.
It's like the same type of character, and he even kind of looked like our guy from the Flash show.
He did. He even sounded like him.
yeah, he really sounded like him.
So anyway, any favorite moments from this?
When it's revealed that Bruce Wayne's mother became the Joker.
Became the Joker.
That was
great.
so good.
That was amazing. I think you stole it from me. That was my favorite moment.
That
and I like the beheading. That was great too.
Yeah.
They could have done a whole thing just about that aspect of it and just how, like, that alternate Batman.
I know. I could watch an entire TV show about Bruce Wayne's parents fighting each other as Batman and the Joker.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen at least another Justice League movie where it's the alternate universe where it's just Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another cool story. This they didn't do, obviously, with this, but it's called Superman Red Sun. And the whole gist of that is that instead of landing in Kansas, Superman's
He
pod
lands in Russia, right?
Yeah, lands in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So he's sort of raised to, like, literally be the communist Superman.
That's not just it's not a movie, it's a whole series of comic books and graphic novels.
It was a comic miniseries, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done, like, a movie or animated version
I think
of
they
it.
did. I actually think I can't think of it right now, but I think they did.
That would definitely be cool to see.
Uh-huh.
But again, this whole thing of, like, he was captured by the government and locked up and they experimented on him and did all kinds of stuff would be pretty cool. Which I wonder if that's why Cyborg looked different, because maybe they used, like, some Kryptonian technology. And he was almost like Metallo, because he had the heart, like, in the middle of his chest and stuff. That was pretty cool. When they, like, peel off his chest plate and it's just the beating heart.
Right. I kind of thought that Aquaman was going to rip off his arm and then beat him to death with his own arm.
Me too, and I thought he was just going to, like, rip the heart out, because they'd done every other, like, crazy violence.
But no, instead his plan was to stab it with his trident until he got his arm chopped off by Superman.
Right. Man.
Oh, so good.
So intense.
So neither of you guys had seen this before, right?
No, neither.
No.
I had not.
See, I was surprised. I thought you had seen it, Lobster.
I'd heard of it, and I was familiar with the Flashpoint from the comics, because I knew that was kind of like the jumping off point for the new 52.
Okay.
But
yes, so good. And then the next one of these cartoon movies that I saw was Justice League War, which was, I think, the next one they released, and it was not good.
Not good.
It was, like, the animation was not good. Most of the voice acting was terrible. The story was kind of dumb.
There were some great actors in this, voice actors in this movie.
Right. This, I mean, we got Nathan Fillion.
Right.
A couple of actors from Grey's Anatomy.
Kevin Conroy plays Batman.
Bruce Wayne Batman, yeah.
Bruce Wayne Batman, but somebody different does the voice of the father.
Kevin McKidd. Kevin Kidd.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Dana Delaney is Wonder Woman. She's fantastic.
Or was she Lois Lane?
I think she was Lois Lane.
Yep.
Oh, you're right. She was Lois Lane.
Yep.
She was Lois Lane.
Who else?
I remember her. Did you guys? Okay, Haley, this is way before your time. But there was a show called China Beach. Anybody remember that? She was the main character on it.
With Robert Picardo.
Yes, who again played a doctor.
Yeah. The Doctor.
He played the Doctor. And it was kind of like a 90s version of MASH.
Right.
Instead of being the Korean War, it was the Vietnam War, but it was basically a MASH unit. So.
Yep.
And she was the main character.
Dana Delaney. But yeah, so there was good voice casting in this, and really good animation. Like, at first I was a little turned off because it looked a little too much like anime for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was mostly just in the flashback, and I think it was the difference in the lighting.
Yeah. But then once it got going, I was like, wow, this is cool and suitably graphic enough. Because I think we kind of mocked when we did the Justice League cartoon. I think we mocked the animation a little bit. And this one was really quality, and it certainly got the whole super speed, the look of super speed down. And you can see how they kind of modeled the show on this a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because of the streak, the red streak and the urine streak.
Yeah.
Right, and the lightning zipping around him and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of hope when they finally do give him a new suit that they put some more yellow on it, like the one that he had at the end of this.
Yeah, like little yellow highlights and whatnot.
Yellow highlights and the white circle with the arrow or the lightning bolt in the center.
Yep. You really like that, don't you?
I do. I want the white circle. Give me the white circle.
And his ring.
The ring's cool.
Yeah, the flash ring.
Yeah, I forgot we hadn't talked about that yet.
We saw at the end of the Flash finale, the man in the yellow suit, he had the flash ring. So It's coming. It's coming.
I really did like when the first time he started running as the Flash, you see him running and he's got a t-shirt on and he hits the ring and they do that weird thing where he turns around. You can see him putting on the suit while he's running.
Yeah, it just like explodes out of there and he like zips into it. Which makes way more sense than putting your costume on a stupid mannequin.
These CW people spend a lot of money on the suits, so they want to
they got to show them.
Show them off. Yeah, they have to put them on display while people aren't wearing them.
Yeah, well, it's standing still and it's well lit, so you can see how much work they put into it.
Yep.
Exactly. It's part of the union agreement.
Right, do you guys have any more notes?
Yep, I think that's it for me.
That's pretty much it. I can't wait for the show to come back. I want more Flash.
So what have we learned this week?
I have learned that alcohol and superheroes don't mix.
All you have to do is read Watchmen for that.
Yeah. Oh, this was so influenced by Watchmen too. Like,
yeah.
There was some pretty heavy Alan Moore, Frank Miller stuff influencing this.
There were
definitely.
a lot of very adult themes.
Yes, many adult themes.
Yes, not for young children.
No.
I have learned that even in an alternate universe, a mother always knows.
And I have learned, well, I already knew, but I was reminded that wearing a cape is really stupid.
No capes.
No capes.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review on iTunes.
Even if you don't enjoy the show, leave us a
Even if you hate us.
Even if you hate us, leave us a note on iTunes and tell us how much you hate us, because at least we know, once again, you're listening.
They do listen.
They do listen. They hate you. I know, but they listen.
But you have heard of us.
Well, this has been Crimson Comet episode 11. We'll be back for the return of The Flash in January. We might put out another podcast before then, but no promises.
Yeah, there's a lot of holiday travel involved in the
a lot of scheduling happening.
There's a lot of logistics to work out.
And we don't have super speed. We can't all be in the same spot.
So until then, I'm Haley.
I'm Lobster.
And I'm Rum Daddy.
Bye.
Later. Flash.
Latest on the Flash.
Whoa! Traveling through time for us.
Thanks for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, you can find all of our contact information at crimsoncometpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter at Crimson Podcast or Facebook at facebook.com/crimsoncometpodcast. Leave us a voicemail at 423-FLASH53. That's 423-352-7453. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent GonnaGeek. The podcast is not affiliated with DC Comics, Warner Brothers, or the CW. No infringement is intended. The music heard is by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.
All right.
Polish off this water.
Let's polish it off. Let's polish this one off. I'm the top and you're the bottom.
Oh, wait, who was that? I thought that was a trick.
His name is the top. What's that?
His name is actually the top?
Yep.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yep.
What's his thing besides being a top?
He's a top. He spins in a circle really fast, like a top. That's his thing.
He's like the Flash, except he can only spin in a circle.
He can't even walk. He just goes in circles.
Yep.
Until he falls over. Okay.
He's a dreidel.
All right, let's
made him out of clay.
Let's get this fucking thing started. Ready?
Yep, go.
Welcome to episode 11.